Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear students. Welcome to your new English YouTube channel and classes, English course level 1 A1 with Moroccan tutor Hassane. Lesson 59. In today's lesson, we are going to deal with verbs ending in double S, SH, CH, X, O, Z. Why we are studying these verbs? Because these verbs in present simple with he, she, it, they don't take S, they take ES. Let's see. By the end of this mini lesson 59, you will have focused on known, learned, and practiced the following objective. Learning when to add ES to the verbs in present simple with subject pronouns he, she, it. Verbs that take ES with he, she, it in present simple with he, she, it plus verb plus ES. Let's go to the next slide. Verbs that end in double S, SH, CH, X, O, Z take ES with he, she, it in present simple with subject pronouns he, she, it plus verb plus ES. I repeated this rule many times to remember it. Let's continue. So examples of verbs ending in double S. We have verb miss. If I say I miss my family, it means that I want to see my family. For example, if my family lives in another city or in another country and I miss them, it means I want to see them. Another example, if I say I miss the bus, it means the bus went without me. So I didn't find the bus. The bus went. The second verb is kiss. So we kiss our family. Press. So for example, there is a button and you press the button. And we have impress. Impress is to make people feel surprised or shocked with admiration and respect. So verbs that end in double S with he, she, it, the verb must take ES in present simple. Let's see. Positive form. So I miss, you miss, we miss, they miss. But with he, misses, she misses, it misses. We are not going to use it in this lesson because we are dealing just with people. So he misses, she misses. So this is the positive form. I miss my country. It means I want to see my country. You miss your father. It means you want to see your father. He misses his mother. It means he wants to see his mother. She misses her cat. It means she wants to see her cat. We miss our friends. It means we want to see our friends. They miss their dog. They want to see their dog. So as you notice, I miss, you miss, we miss, they miss. No problem. But with he and she, so we add ES to the verb. We cannot add just S. So if we add S, we will have 3S, no, or 3 S's, no. So just we add ES. Let's continue. Now let's go to the negative form. I don't miss, you don't miss, we don't miss, they don't miss. So the verb doesn't change. And in the negative form with he, she, it, he doesn't miss. So we don't say he doesn't misses. No. When we have doesn't, the verb remains in the infinitive without s or es. She doesn't miss. It doesn't miss. Let's see examples. I don't miss my country. You don't miss your father. He doesn't miss his mother. She doesn't miss her cat. We don't miss our friends. They don't miss their dog. So you see the verb miss doesn't change in all the pronouns, even with he and she. Why? Because we have doesn't. He doesn't miss. She doesn't miss. Let's go to the question form. In the question, we just need to put do at the beginning of the sentence and a question mark at the end of the sentence. Do I miss? Do you miss? Do we miss? Do they miss? And with he and she and it, does. Does he miss? We don't say does he misses. No. When we have does and doesn't, the verb remains in the infinitive. We don't add s or es. Does he miss? Does she miss? Does it miss? Let's see examples. Do you miss your country? Do you miss your father? Does he miss his mother? Does she miss her cat? Do we miss our friends? Do they miss their dog? You see the verb in the question form doesn't change. So we just need to put does with he and she. Let's continue. Positive another time, but this time with the verb kiss. I kiss my daughter good night. You kiss your father. He kisses his mother. She kisses her baby monkey. We kiss our friends. They kiss their little brother. You see, I kiss, you kiss, we kiss, they kiss, the verb doesn't change. But with he and she, we add es. Let's go to the negative form. I don't kiss my daughter good night. You don't kiss your father. He doesn't kiss his mother. She doesn't kiss her baby monkey. We don't kiss our friends. They don't kiss their little brother. You see, in the negative form, the verb doesn't change. But we need to put I don't, you don't, we don't, they don't. But with he and she, doesn't. Let's go to the question form. Do you kiss your daughter good night? Do you kiss your father? Does he kiss his mother? Does she kiss her baby monkey? Do we kiss our friends? Do they kiss their little brother? The verb in the question form doesn't change. We need just to put does with he and she. Let's continue. Another verb. So the verb impress. I impress them. It means I make them feel surprised or shocked. I impress them. You impress me. You make me feel surprised or shocked. He impresses her. She impresses us. We impress all. They impress us. So these pronouns, them, me, her, us, and so they are called object pronouns. We are going to study them in the coming lessons. I promise you. I impress them, you impress me, he impresses her, she impresses us, we impress all, they impress us. So the verb doesn't change with I impress, you impress, we impress, they impress. But with he and she, we need to add es. Let's go to the negative form. I don't impress them. You don't impress me. He doesn't impress her. She doesn't impress him. We don't impress all. They don't impress us. The verb doesn't change in the negative form, but we need to put doesn't with he and she. Let's go to the question form. Do you impress them? Do you impress me? Does he impress her? Does she impress us? Do we impress all? Do they impress us? In the question form, the verb doesn't change with he and she because we have does. So remember, when we have does and doesn't, the verb doesn't take es. Let's continue with more verbs. In this slide, we are going to deal with verb finish. Positive form. I finish work, just one. So I finish work or school at 3 p.m. You finish your food quickly. He finishes his work at 5 p.m. She finishes the housework early. We finish our duty on time. They finish work very late. So I finish, you finish, we finish, they finish. The verb doesn't change, but with he and she, we add es. Let's go to the negative form. I don't finish work or school at 3 p.m. p.m. means in the afternoon. You don't finish your food quickly. He doesn't finish his work at 5 p.m. She doesn't finish the housework early. We don't finish our duty on time. They don't finish work very late. So as you see, in the negative form, the verb doesn't change in all pronouns. But we need to write he doesn't, she doesn't. Let's go to the question form. Do I finish work or school at 3 p.m.? Do you finish your food quickly? Does he finish his work at 5 p.m.? Does she finish the housework early? Do we finish our duty on time? Do they finish work very late? As you see in the question, the verb doesn't change with all pronouns, but we need to write does he and does she. Let's go and see more verbs. Now let's see verb watch, teach, and touch. Positive form. I usually watch TV. You often watch Indian movies. He sometimes watches tennis on TV. She rarely watches TV. We never watch Mexican films. They always watch the news on TV. We use in these sentences adverbs of frequency to remember them. Usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never, always. And the verbs with I watch, you watch, we watch, they watch. The verb doesn't change. But with he watches, es. She watches, es. Let's go to the negative form. I usually don't watch TV. You often don't watch Indian movies. He sometimes doesn't watch tennis on TV. She really doesn't watch TV. We don't watch Mexican films. They always don't watch the news on TV. As you see, I don't watch, you don't watch, we don't watch, they don't watch. But with he doesn't watch, she doesn't watch. The verb doesn't change in all pronouns in the negative form as we said because we have doesn't. Let's go to the question form. Do I usually watch TV? Do you often watch Indian movies? So Indian with capital I because it's country or nationality. Does he sometimes watch tennis on TV? Does she really watch TV? Do we never watch Mexican films? Mexican also with capital M because it's nationality. Do they always watch the news on TV? So as I said before, in the question, the verb doesn't change. But we need to put does with he and she. Does he watch? Does she watch? Let's see more verbs. Let's see verb teach. I teach English. You teach French. He teaches Arabic. She teaches physics. We teach maths. They teach history. As you see, I teach, you teach, we teach, they teach. The verb doesn't change. But with he and she, the verb add es. He teaches, she teaches. Let's go to the negative form. I don't teach English. You don't teach French. She doesn't teach Arabic. She doesn't teach physics. We don't teach maths. They don't teach history. So as you see, in the negative form, I repeat in every slide, of the negative form, the verb doesn't change with all pronouns. But you need to put he doesn't, she doesn't. Let's go to the question form. Do I teach English? Do you teach French? Does he teach Arabic? Does she teach physics? Do we teach maths? Do they teach history? I repeat, in the question form, the verb doesn't change with all pronouns, but you need to write does he, does she. Let's see more verbs in the positive form. We are going to see verb touch. I touch you. You touch me. He touches her. She touches him. We touch you. They touch us. I repeat, you, me, her, him, us. We call them in English object pronouns. We are going to study them in the coming lessons. As you see, I touch, you touch, we touch, they touch. The verb doesn't change, but with he and she, we add es to the verb. He touches, she touches. Let's see the negative form. I don't touch you. You don't touch me. He doesn't touch her. She doesn't touch him. We don't touch you. They don't touch us. As I repeat, in the negative form and the question form, the verb doesn't change with all the pronouns. But you need to write in the negative form, he doesn't and she doesn't. Let's see the question form. Do I touch you? Do you touch me? Does he touch her? Does she touch him? Do we touch you? Do they touch us? As I repeat, in the question form and in the negative form, the verb doesn't change with all pronouns. And in the question form with he and she, you need to write does. Does he touch? Does she touch? Let's go and see more verbs. In this slide, we are going to deal with verb mix. Mix is to put two things together. Let's see the positive form. I mix colors. It means I put all the colors together. I mix colors. You mix everything. You put everything. He mixes water, eggs, and flour to make bread or a cake. She mixes all the papers. It means she put all the papers together. We mix lies with the truth. They mix red and blue, these two colors, to get purple, another color. As you see, I mix, you mix, we mix, they mix. The verb doesn't change. But with he and she, we add es to the end of the verb. He mixes. She mixes. Let's see the negative form. I don't mix colors. You don't mix everything. He doesn't mix water, eggs, and flour. She doesn't mix all the papers. We don't mix lies with the truth. They don't mix red and blue to get purple. As you see, with I don't mix, you don't mix, we don't mix, they don't mix, the verb doesn't change. And with he doesn't mix, she doesn't mix, also the verb doesn't change. So what is important is just to put doesn't with he and she. The verb in the negative doesn't change. Let's see the question form. Do I mix colors? Do you mix everything? Does he mix water, eggs, and flour? Does she mixes? Here there is a mistake. So does. So we need to take es from the verb and to put it with do. So does he mix? Does he mix? So if you say do he mixes, no, it's not correct. So please correct this mistake. So take es and put it with do to become does. So does he mix water, eggs, and flour? And the same with she. So take es from the verb and put it with do. So to become does. Does she mix all the papers? Do we mix lies with the truth? Do they mix red and blue to get purple? Let's continue. In this slide, we are going to deal with two verbs. The first verb is do and the second verb go. Let's see. Positive form. I do my best. You do sport. He does his homework. She does the housework. We do exercises. They do tricks on us. As you see, I do, you do, we do, they do. The verb doesn't change. But with he does. She does. With he and she, the verb take es. Let's see the negative form. I don't do my best. You don't do your sport. He doesn't do his homework. She doesn't do the housework. We don't do exercises. They don't do tricks on us. As you see, do doesn't change with all pronouns, but you need to write he doesn't and she doesn't. Let's go to the question form. Do I do my best? Do you do sport? Does he do his homework? Does she do the housework? Do we do exercises? Do they do tricks on us? As you see, the verb with all pronouns doesn't change, but you need to write does with he and she in the question. Let's see verb go in the positive form. I go to the gym. You go to the cinema. He goes to the stadium. She goes swimming. We go running. They go jogging. As you see, I go, you go, we go, they go. The verb doesn't change. But with he and she, the verb has es at the end. He goes. She goes. Let's go to the negative form. I don't go to the gym. You don't go to the cinema. He doesn't go to the stadium. She doesn't go swimming. We don't go running. They don't go jogging. As you see, the verb in the negative form doesn't change, but you need to write he doesn't and she doesn't. Let's go to the question form. Do I go to the gym? Do you go to the cinema? Does he go to the stadium? Does she go swimming? Do we go running? Do they go jogging? As you see in the question form, the verb doesn't change with all pronouns. But you need to write does he and does she. Let's continue. Let's go to the next slide. In this slide, we are going to have the last verb, which is quiz. Positive form. I quiz my students every week. Quiz is a small test. It means I do a small test to my students every week. You quiz your students. He quizzes his students. She quizzes her students. We quiz our students. They quiz their students. I quiz, you quiz, we quiz, they quiz. The verb doesn't change, but with he and she, so the verb quiz ends with z, so with he we add another z and es. This is, so you should remember this. He quizzes, she quizzes. Let's say the negative form. I don't quiz my students every week. You don't quiz your students. He doesn't quiz his students. She doesn't quiz her students. We don't quiz our students. They don't quiz their students. As you see in the negative form, the verb doesn't change with all pronouns. But you need to write does, doesn't with he and she. Let's go to the question form, the last slide. Do I quiz my students every week? Do you quiz your students? Do you quiz your students? Does he quiz his students? Does she quiz her students? Do we quiz our students? Do they quiz their students? As you see in the negative form, the verb doesn't change, but you need to write does he and does she in the question. That's the end of today's lesson. Until then, see you soon on our 2 YouTube channels, House School Hassane HSH, English with Arabic translation, and House College Hassane HCH, just English in lesson 60. Thanks for watching. Goodbye and good luck.